excited to get at it with you. Our first basketball game together.
Yeah.
Who you got your eyes on? Oh.
I'm telling you, I mean, you should see Jake Davis after how aggressive he
Yeah, and he's not starting again. He's got big hair. Yeah, he's that guy with the big hair.
Bernard didn't start last game. He's a freshman.
Yeah, they've got 8 new guys out of 13.
Yeah, they have a lot of transfers. They have
5 transfers.
They have a lot of people that played at decent schools. Right?
They do.
Like even if it was multiple trips.
Notre Dame.
Like South Florida, but that was South Florida by way of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Georgia to Jacksonville State.
Florida.
To here. Yeah. Mississippi Valley State is not.
Manze Ingumenzi. Manze Ingumenzi. Ingumenzi. He didn't play last game. Ooh. Doc.
Oh yeah. And his favorite food is Chipotle.
So is mine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of CSU Athletics and the Chicago State University, welcome to the American Convocation Center for the 2023-24 opener. Tonight's matchup features the Mercer and your Chicago State Cougars. Let's keep the start lines to the visiting Mercer Bears. Mercer Bears. And God, 6'4" sophomore from Orlando, Florida, number 0, John P. And God, 5'10" freshman from Detroit, Michigan, number 1, Anthony Lemon. And forward, 6'8" senior redshirt from Marietta, Georgia, number 5, Taylor Terry. And forward, 6'8" junior from Lindsay,
Live in Chicago, men's basketball home opener for the Chicago State Cougars hosting the Mercer Bears for the first time ever here in the Windy City. And alongside my good friend Max Toma and our championship crew, Sam Brief joining you from the Jones Convocation Center, where Gerald Gillian's team looks for his first win of the season after a disappointing debut against Bowling Green. We'll see if they can right the ship here at home against the Bears. So there are two sets of Bears going at it tonight in Chicago. Chicago Bears a little bit north of here playing football. Here we're playing hoops, and wonderful to have you along for the ride. Chicago State in the home grays and the Mercer Bears in the visiting blacks. Brent Davis, a corner three to get us started, and the rebound hauled in by an all-freshman performer last year in the SoCon, Jazz Quinones. And Max, a matchup between two 0-1 teams looking for win number one.
Yeah, always big to get that first win out of the belt. Mercer are going to be very disappointed in their home opener, its season opener, losing to Clark Atlanta by 7 back on Monday. And Chicago State, they got off to a nice start in that game on the road, hit a couple of threes early, and then the offense just kind of hit the schneid. They could not recover in that loss to Bowling Green, and someone's walking away with their first dub today.
It was a 71-64 loss against D2 Clark Atlanta University for Mercer. They were the only Division I team on the opening night of college basketball Monday to fall to a Division II team. So looking to get in the win column for the first time as a foul is whistled against Chicago State's Kedrick Green. And we get a look at perhaps Mercer's best player right here. Jalen McCreary was third team All-Southern Conference last year, leading the Bears with 15 points a game, and already an early sub for Chicago State. A.J. Neal checking in for Kedrick Green.
Yeah, on the Mercer side, I mean, there's tons of new faces in this program, a lot of transfers. A lot of guys who have transferred from a few different schools as they get their first bucket. But McCreary came from South Florida. It's his second year with Mercer, but he started his year 2 years in the SEC down at South Carolina.
A.J. Neal has it on that C of the Chicago State, defended by one of the freshmen for Mercer, Anthony Bernard. Over to Davis, the sharpshooter, drives and ends up with a steal. That's McCreary on the swipe. Now Quinones finds McCreary with a soft touch, a block foul called against Chicago State. So it's an and one for McCreary, who has dominated the opening 70 seconds.
Yeah, if we were picking players to watch today, I mean, what a strong finish this is. He's got the first 4 points of the game, trying to make it 5, but he was the lone scorer in double figures their last time out. 14 points, was efficient from the field, shot 50%, and a strong start for him here already tonight.
The path for Jalen McCreary has been South Carolina to South Florida to Mercer. So his third school and his second season with the Bears. McCreary, all 4 points, and make it all 5. He's got his number as Mercer has a dominant start here in Chicago. Our Chicago State led by this man with the ball, their point guard, Wes Cardette Jr., second-year player under third-year coach Gerald Gillian. Cardette kicks out to Neal, second steal for McCreary, and the Bears defense looks tenacious so far.
McCreary doing it all on both sides. That was just a one-touch pass from Neal that was errant.
Corner threes off for Carmody, the Notre Dame transfer, and then a frustration foul whistled against Robbie. First foul for Mercer, and Robbie doesn't know where it was. We'll take another look. And that was that McCreary bucket. He's got really soft touch in the paint.
Yeah, friendly roll for him on the road. And you mentioned a couple of guys in this starting lineup for Mercer, a couple of guys with very different paths here. Anthony Bernard making his first ever collegiate start, the freshman from Detroit, sharpshooter. Robbie Carmody has been around for a long time, the Notre Dame transfer.
This is his 5th year of college basketball as Corbett throws it away. Max, that's 3 early turnovers for Chicago State. Feels like a recipe for something not so pretty.
Yeah, and they had a nice start like we talked about earlier this week. Right out of the gate versus Bowling Green. Cardette hit a 3 immediately, and then Corbett hit another 2 of the big name returners for this team when it comes to offensive production. But they look shaky here on the offensive side. It's been a little bit shambolic the first few minutes.
Shambolic, didn't have that on my bingo card for the day. Thank you.
2 minutes gone by.
Here's Quinones, soft touch, he can't get it to go. Rebound hauled in by Cardette.
That's
a long pass 4 turnovers. He overthrew him deep in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt you there, but that was just a very risky pass, especially with the way the ebb and flow of this game has lacked, you could say, for the Chicago State side. That's just an unnecessary, way too high risk for the reward there on that outlet ball.
4 turnovers for the Cougars. They trail by 5 in the home opener here in Chicago Thursday night. Wonderful to have you with us. It's the second meeting ever between Mercer and Chicago State. As Bernard has it, kicks to Carmody, back to the freshman, and 10 on the clock for Greg Gary's team. Bernard finds McCreary in the corner. Bernard lost it, and that's the first Mercer turnover. A.J. Neal on the steal. Corbett, the third-year player, bullies in, draws a foul on McCreary. Second team foul against Mercer. It'll send Corbett to the stripe.
Great read on the theft from Neal, and then he has the trailer. Corbett, I love the pump fake here, drives. Look at all the traffic and all the bodies that he draws defensively. Still goes up. He's playing with a ton of confidence that he should be, and he gets to the free throw line trying to break the seal here for the Cougars at home.
Jashawn Corbett, sort of a throwback in college basketball. Third year with the same program. As Corbett gets the first home bucket of Chicago State's season.
We've also got a slew of lefty shooters out here in the starting lineups from these two sides.
We got 2 for Mercer, 2 for Chicago State. Corbett's one of them. Also, it's a good hair game, and I think Jashawn adds to that as he misses the back end.
Don't think you and I add a whole lot to it, but your hair's always looking the same. It's always looking perfect. Consistency is what you want, and that's what they get with Sam Cleave.
Hey, yours looks exactly the same as McCreary makes it. 7 points for McCreary and 1 for Chicago State.
McCreary's been perfect from the field. He's 3 of 3. He's been to the free throw line. He connected and finished the three-point play. He's also got 2 steals so far. He has been just a stat sheet stuffer in the early going.
Step back 3 for Cardet. Left it long, rebound to Quinones. And here comes Mercer with pace. McCreary defended by Corbett. Now Bernard, the swing to Carmody. Nice bounce feed down low, found McCreary, who couldn't finish, but it's cleaned up. That's McCreary on the rebound, and he'll go to the line looking to make it 9 points in the first few minutes.
I think that initial look came from Holt, but it was all about the bounce pass. You were right, and there's McCreary again. He's crashing the glass now. You know, there's not a ton of size out there in either of these starting fives, so a lot of the play is around the perimeter and the driving coming in, so you can get a guy like McCreary at 6'8", the redshirt senior, hitting the boards and right back to the line.
Marietta, Georgia native, misses front end of the iron. Couple subs here for Gerald Gillian's team. A little more shooting with Tristan Arnaud checking in, alongside the big man from Gary, Indiana, Cameron Jernigan. Chicago State 8-0 here at home last season, looking to keep that defending home court going in year 4 under Gerald Gillian. McCreary now with 8 points in the first 4 minutes. Quick up the court, Arnaud. And a 3 in the corner by Gene Charles is off. Here comes McCreary again with pace. Jalen McCreary's rejected. Now Cardet with numbers. He finds Jernigan and the flush. The first Chicago State shot from the field makes it 8-3.
That's exactly what they needed first. McCreary's human. They finally stop him. He misses a shot and a strong contest and a block. And then they hadn't had a chance out in transition. Just a beautiful pass up ahead to Cameron Jernigan.
David Thomas ahead for Mercer. Little spin, lost his dribble, and he found his man Quinones. Ja Quinones, all freshman last year in the SoCon. On a little pick and roll, he finds Holt, wide open for 3, and he misses a practice shot. Whistle on the rebound is against Mercer, and that'll take us to a timeout. So far this game dominated by McCreary, but the Cardet block and the Jernigan finish have momentum on the Cougars side, and we're back after this.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
It's Mercer by 5 as we come back, but this block, Wes Cardette, long feed, Cameron Jernigan, the finish. Chicago State a rough start, Max, with 4 turnovers. Well, that play looked to turn the ship around a little bit.
Yeah, 4 turnovers offensively. It's a little disjointed at times, but when they get out and they get going, boy, does it get easier for Cameron Jernigan. That was a killer crossover, too, from Cardette before that outlet pass.
You see why he's slotted as a second-round NBA draft choice in the experts' projections for 2024. Cougars playing their home opener tonight against Mercer. So if you're not too familiar with these Mercer Bears, let's brief you up. Mercer University down in Macon, Georgia. A lot of college basketball fans might remember the name Mercer. First round shocking upset, 14 seed over 3-seeded Duke in the 2014 NCAA tournament. They've got 3 appearances this year, looking for their 4th under Greg Gary, the head coach.
Yeah, it's always amazing when a team can pull off that kind of a win on that kind of a stage, and just how much it can build for a program, for a university. I mean, for just the number of admittance, right? Trying to get into the school the next year. You think about that Mercer win versus Duke. Obviously, think about UMBC beating Virginia. You can kind of mention that in a similar type of breath as well. FGCU, remember when they came on?
Dunk City.
Took down Georgetown. I think they eventually lost to Florida. I can't remember who they beat in round 2.
San Diego State.
There we go.
Here's a Wes Cardette 3 and the first 3 ball of the evening. And it's a familiar face, Wes Cardette.
Yeah, Fish it day already for him. He's got 3 points. That's his first bucket. He's got 3 boards as well as that assist outlet down there for the dunk. And they're within a deuce.
So the Cougars, with a little run, they've scored 5 unanswered as Bernard, the freshman, gives a nice feed inside to Holt. He was fouled by Cardette. And at the line, transfer out of High Point, Alex Holt.
Yeah, that was a great high-low pass in from the freshman, Anthony Bernard. He does not look like a freshman here in the early going. And just a reach it from behind there from Arno.
Yeah, the court vision for Bernard as a freshman coming in and playing with a lot of veterans. Ton of transfers and returners for the Bears. Yeah, Bernard looks good, and right now our eyes on Holt. Played 30 games last year at High Point University. Clean swish, makes it 9-6.
And at this time of year in November, even especially, first week of the season, you're mixing in rotations and lineups, figuring out who deserves more minutes, who deserves fewer minutes, and just trying to figure out what exactly is working, whether you're going big, you're going small. And already a couple changes for Mercer from game 1 to game 2 with the starting lineup. Bernard, one of them, and Alex Holt, the other.
Few whistles and a few subs for Mercer. 2 big boys coming in, little more beef and size. Manze Ingumenzi's number 8, and this wonderful head of hair is Jake Davis, the freshman who did not start but fouled out in the opener Monday against Clark Atlanta.
Yeah, you asked me for a potential X factor on both sides off air prior to tip tonight. That's a nice blow by.
And a miss for Crawford, but cleaned up by Corbett. He missed. Davis tracks it down, but a foot on the line will keep it here with Chicago State. And the clock at 14:21. Another look at your man Davis.
Yeah, so Anthony Bernard, a freshman who played major minutes, but Jake Davis played more. He fouled out. He picked up 8 points. Fouled out coming off the bench. You don't see that a ton. 26 minutes for the 6'6" freshman in his college debut. Does he come out with the same level of aggressiveness we saw from him on Monday?
Drive and kick yields a block call. Goes against David Thomas, the freshman for Mercer. Foul on 12, keeps it here.
A couple of strong takes in a row here for Chicago State, and this is kind of like that earlier trip to the line for Corbett as Garnett Jr. drives in, and he draws a trio of defenders. And if they're going to collapse on you like that, the Bears here in the first half, that dish to the opposite corner is going to be open for a 3, and this time Garnett able to just draw the foul himself anyways.
4 fouls on Mercer so far. 5 for the Cougars as Corbett inbounds to Cardette. Cougars down 4 in the home opener. Coming off a 30-point loss at Bowling Green, looking to defend home court after going undefeated here in Chicago last season. Jernigan finds Cardette with just 3 to shoot. Some urgency here. Quick pass. He found Arnaud, didn't get the shot off, and a huge defensive win for the Bears.
Yeah, great defensive possession after a foul. Continued the possession. Shot clock resets. You're able to draw the shot clock violation. We've seen some stout defending over the last few minutes because on the opposite side, too, Chicago State, they haven't allowed a field goal in nearly 3 minutes here.
A little more shooting on the court now for Mercer. Number 2 in black, Michael Zanoni checks in. Alongside the Mississippi Valley State transfer, 10 in black, is Caleb Hunter. Chicago State counters with Deshaun Jean Charles. Cougars down 4, back on defense. Hunter finds Thomas, the freshman, runs into a brick wall of Brent Davis. Little drive and kick. This is Hunter in the corner to Zanoni, and around the perimeter go the Bears. Hunter a 3-ball. Can't hit it. Rebound to Jernigan and the Cougars. And now with a head of steam, this is Cardette. The NBA prospect dumps it down low. Jean Charles, count it.
It's really the second time they've been able to get out and run in transition. It's been in the hands of Cardette Jr. both times, and he's dropped a dime both times. This time he finds Jean Charles, gets the finish, going right through the strong Jake Davis, who immediately has picked up a foul after checking it.
Yeah, the court vision in traffic, a thing of beauty for Wes Cardette Jr. And now the Fort Lauderdale native, Deshaun Jean Charles, makes it a 3-point play. Cardette's out, Corbette's in. That's got to be much needed rest for a bully in the paint, Wes Cardette.
Yeah, a guy who does not sit much. He played 35 minutes in the opener. Corbett as well actually played more. He played 36 minutes. That was more than anybody else in the opening game.
Davis to Ngumenzi, top of the key, finds the freshman Thomas. A left-handed drive and a beautiful fadeaway for the Deuce.
Love that. Just floating in the air, driving left with the left hand, brings it back to the right in the air. Tough to block shot, got a clean look and drilled it.
A.J. Neal leaning over the dribble for Chicago State. Looking to get by his man, a really pesky defender in Hunter. Here comes a screen. Can't play off of it. This is 20 seconds of dribbling as he finally gets it to Corbett. Corbett on Davis, the spin and a travel call. Not a clean offensive possession.
Yeah, there's patience and then there's a little bit of complacency. This looked more like complacency. Just not much going on this possession. Tight defense from Davis out up top and just got the feet started a little bit too early.
Chicago State 5 early turnovers, only down 3 though. Cougars have stayed in it with some tenacious defense, and on that note, the answer, Ngumenzi with his first bucket. Jean Charles will bring it up the court. Cardette's on the bench right now, so Chicago State experimenting with some different ball handlers. And back to Jean Charles, finds Neal, defended by the pesky Hunter. Back to the hoop, 1-on-2, left it short, grown man rebound for Cam Jernigan, and a whistle and a jump ball will send it to the Bears.
Yeah, great effort on the glass, after kind of a crazy wayward shot. Jernigan comes just flying in, and it's so huge. What kind of offense can you get when Cardette Jr., your floor general, is not out there? It looks like he immediately is going to check in after having sat for just about 60 seconds. And I think there's some confusion with the possession arrow, and they've sorted it out, and it is going to be Mercer basketball.
It was Mercer ball, then it was Chicago State ball, now it's Mercer ball. So we reverse back to the original, and Jake Davis will inbound. Looks like a modified full court pressure for Chicago State, but relenting for Hunter to bring it down. Next stoppage will bring us to a timeout as Thomas loses it. Now Davis to Zanoni. In the corner, Hunter. And another travel, this time the freshman Davis, and a pretty messy few minutes for both teams will send us to another timeout. 11:44 left in the first half, and Mercer by 5.
At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare with 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty. No bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of Pharmacy.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition.
Pretty messy game so far. 8 turnovers, and Mercer leads by 5. Great to have you back. Second Thursday in November. Hope it's treating you well alongside Max Toma and our championship crew. I'm Sam Brief. So Max, what's the identity of this game been for you?
Well, like you said, I mean, the last few minutes have been a little bit of an eyesore kind of for both sides. We've seen some travels, we've seen some turnovers, but Chicago State, they're only trailing by 5 because when they've gotten out on the break, they've had a lot of success. It's 6 points to none in terms of the transition points, but I mean, Mercer, they took the lead out of the jump, and they pretty much led the entirety of the way. They've led for 7:38. I don't think we've actually had a lead change yet so far today. So Chicago State trailing by 5, hanging around. It's been kind of tight back and forth here, though. This game's had a nice flow. We haven't had too many whistles.
These are two teams really looking to set early season vibes right in different ways. It was a really tough Monday season opener for both squads. Mercer with a disappointing home loss against a Division II school in Clark Atlanta University. Chicago State lost by 30 at Bowling Green, and this is called a held ball. Ked Green was battling with Caleb Hunter.
Caleb Hunter provides such energy. He's going to guard you a full 94 feet, and you're going to feel his presence coming off the bench. He's always got fresh legs, and he'll be right up in your grill just about all game long. Yeah, don't you love it? Chaos already, day 1 on a Monday. You get a D2 school going on the road and winning. Obviously, James Madison goes and takes down Michigan State on the road. On the women's side, you had LSU get smacked, the defending champs, #1.
They're back in action tonight as Corbett misses, cleaned up by McCreary. It's November madness. A naughty November in college basketball on both sides, and a Davis 3-ball. He cans it. Jake Davis, the freshman.
Yeah, he's a sharp shooter, even with some size at 6'6" on the wing. He's got a smooth stroke. He's got killer hair. He's making it right here early.
Corbett, and a putback dunk. Gene Charles with the rim rattler.
He just comes parachuting in out of nowhere on the backside.
Now it's Hunter on Green. And a steal here. This is Brent Davis with the flush. That's 3 dunks for Chicago State in 2 minutes.
When you talk about momentum plays, and there's no kind of momentum play quite like a dunk. You get a putback one, and then a steal and a transition dunk, and it's 8-0 now in terms of fast break points.
A 3-ball for Thomas, and he shushes the crowd from the right wing.
Just when you said after the break it's been a little bit tough with the turnovers, the offenses are flying high now.
A Mercer foul away from the ball. Goes against Thomas. Watch this. Corbett missed. Gene Charles playing cleanup duty.
I would love to be able to have that type of leaping ability.
You'll never have it, my friend.
Well, Mercer's made their last 4 shots. Chicago State's hit their last couple. They've been as close as possible with a couple of dunks in a row. Starting to pick up the pace a little bit, too.
Chicago State's dominated the paint, those second chance opportunities. Mercer getting it done a bit more on the perimeter so far with a couple threes. Green finds Corbett. Backing up on Davis. That's the second travel call against Corbett.
Yeah, both times it's been the freshman Jake Davis right on him, this time right on his backside. We'll think he kind of pulled the chair out just a little bit. Lost his balance, kind of backpedaling.
It's a tough move when all your momentum's going one way. The body moves, you shuffle. Here's Bernard. Defended up the court cleanly by Arnaud. Gets rid of it to Zanoni. And now McCreary, who had a hot start but a quiet last few minutes. Cobb finds Zanoni. A three ball misses. That ends a stretch of back-to-back threes for the Bears. And Cougars ball down 7. Little reset for the Cougars here. Tristan Arnaud, Davie, Florida native, one of a slew of Floridians on this Chicago State team, coached by native Floridian Gerald Gillian. And Arnaud loses it. Davis with a swipe. Already Chicago State with 8 turnovers. In transition now, Zanoni finds Cobb. Little bounce pass off a Cougar foot. And Bernard, the impressive freshman. Cobb defended by the lanky Jernigan. Little bounce feed for Zanoni, in and out. And a clean board for Corbett.
Zanoni playing with confidence. He's always going to look for a shot as soon as he gets any kind of window.
Davis fouled on the 3, and 3 free throws coming for Brent Davis, transfer from the Citadel.
Kind of compounding the problem there with Michael Zanoni. Misses the 3, a little bit slow getting back here at transition, trying to pick up his man. Some numbers going forward, and he picks up the foul.
Brent Davis, a high school teammate at Miramar High School of Chicago State's Deshaun Jean Charles, teamed up for a state championship a few years ago. No good on the front end. Gerald Gillian, his 3rd year with Chicago State, laying down this tenacious identity for a program that was unbeaten at home last year. And his man Davis splits the first 2. A few subs for both teams here, most notably Wes Cardette back after about a 3-minute rest.
Yeah, and it seems like a whole lot of the turnovers have come when he has been taking those brief moments of rest, trying to keep those legs fresh. But 8-3 with the turnovers you mentioned. 8, they only had 15 last time out, so already more than half. We still 8:30 plus left here in the first half.
Davis rattles it home. Cougars are within striking distance. I know you don't have a clock on your screen. I'll tell you, it's 8:30. 8:30 left in the first half. Mercer by 6 right now. McCreary with it. Dominated the first couple minutes. And now Cobb into the backcourt, but went off of Jernigan's hand. Bernard knifing in, and he finds the Cougar bench out of bounds. Turnover for the freshman.
Yeah, just kind of a miscommunication with him and TJ Grant. He drives, does a great job of creating space in that corner, but then Grant cuts in from the opposite side, and it just whizzes right behind him.
8:15 on the clock, as Arnaud will bring it up for the Cougars. Home opener for Chicago State, looking to bounce back from a 70-41 loss at Bowling Green to open the season. And here in the friendly confines, the JCC, it's Noble Crawford for a mid-ranger. That shot was certainly affected by a Bear.
Yeah,
and here comes Bernard.
TJ Grant all over him defensively.
McCreary bullies in, misses off the front end. Jernigan board, and look what McCreary came up with. He'll go to the line on a Chicago State foul.
Great body control from McCreary on this first attempt as he just is able to evade Brent Davis enough to not draw the charge. Davis goes down. He's right there to get the rebound, try to put it right back up. Can't get the and one. Would have been his second, but he'll head back to the free throw line where he's already attempted 3 shots.
7:41 in the first half, and a timeout here in Chicago.
Pon en marcha tu futuro en la Universidad Estatal de Chicago con más de 70 programas de grado y certificaciones, numerosas oportunidades de becas y una vida universitaria vibrante. La Universidad Estatal de Chicago es la universidad pública más asequible de la ciudad con un cuerpo docente diverso y grupos pequeños de alumnos. En la Universidad Estatal de Chicago te brindamos las herramientas que necesitas para triunfar. Visita csu.edu/admissions para saber cómo puedes conseguir gratis la matrícula de tu primer año.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
But it's great.
Chicago State 8-0 at home last year and first home game of this year, the third year under head coach Gerald Gillian. This is actually the second time Chicago State's facing Mercer. Last time was the end of November 2008 at the then Sears Center, now the Arena, home of the Windy City Bulls of the G League. 88-77 barn burner, Mercer over Chicago State. And now take two between the Bears and the Cougars. Max Thomas, Sam Brief with you. Max, this Chicago State team, a little messy to start. What have they done when you've seen them be successful tonight?
Well, I think they've been at their best when Cardette has been out there on the floor for sure, and he's been operating. Obviously, we've talked about just how great they've been in transition. They haven't had a ton of help from the bench today. But when they've been driving and getting going downhill, they're getting good looks at the rim, and when they're not finishing, doing a tremendous job of crashing the board with the likes of Cam Jernigan. They're getting put-back dunks, they're getting put-back buckets, getting trips to the line off second chance points and offensive rebounds, of which they have the edge so far here today. And for Mercer, this is a team that's been playing with a whole lot of depth here at the beginning of the season. It's a team that goes pretty deep. They played 12 back on Monday. They've already seen, what, 12 out here so far today, too. They got 10 bench points, half the points so far today.
McCreary scored the first 7. And here's his first bucket in about 5 minutes. Jalen McCreary, third team All-SoCon last year. For a Mercer team that finished 14-19, they lost in the second round of the SoCon tournament to the 1 seed Furman. They were the third best defensive team in that conference, but really struggled on offense. So Greg Gary says he wants to see just the ball fall into the bucket a little more, and bringing in a lot of new names to accomplish that. 5 transfers, 3 freshmen. Here's a Cardette drive and kick. Brent Davis cans a 3. And Chicago State is within 3.
And that's what we're talking about. The last time we saw Cardette Jr. drive from the left side through the lane, he kicked it to the far corner and it was open, but Cardette Jr. wound up drawing the foul instead. This time he's able to find Davis, and you give him that much space, he's going to hit that most of the time.
So how does Mercer respond? They've led this thing wire to wire. It's a Carmody drive and a pretty one. The Notre Dame transfer hits a deuce.
Yeah, Carmody, a grad student from Mars, Pennsylvania, 4 years at Notre Dame. He's been out there for a long time. This is a guy who has just been beleaguered by injuries almost every year. He's been through a ton, and I'm sure he provides so much wisdom for a team with plenty of new faces.
Cardette just took some hard contact from McCreary. McCreary's second foul. Here's another look. Hits the deck hard. Wes Cardette takes a beating. A really physical player now heads to the free throw line.
Yeah, maybe just a hair length there, about half a step.
Few hairs.
With the help defense from McCreary, who just got a decent piece of him.
Wes Cardette Jr. last year, first season at Chicago State. He was double figures in all but 3 games. Started his college career at Samford. Now a Cougar for the second straight year. He'll likely head to the NBA draft after this season. He actually dipped his toes into the draft waters over the offseason, going to a summer draft camp, see how he competed and just sort of what the vibes were. I think you'll see him on an NBA court near you soon enough.
I'm sure he learned a lot, and you come back from a camp like that, primed and ready for a new college season, knowing exactly what you got to work on.
It's a 3-ball, and Robbie Carmody canning it from the corner. Mercer by 6.
And you're seeing the full arsenal in the last 2 possessions from Carmody. Drives baseline, goes up with the reversal, soft finish, and then sticks the triple as well. He could do a lot and provide a spark offensively.
It was a rough shooting night Monday for Mercer. Much better tonight as they pick up turnover number 9. This is Carmody on the baseline drive. He throws it right to Corbett.
And that can happen sometimes when you start seeing the ball go in. Maybe you're playing with a little bit too much juice with the behind-the-back errant pass.
Davis a drive, looking for an alley-oop. Jernigan just muscled it. And a held ball, possession to Mercer.
TJ Grant's made some nice plays defensively. I think this is the second one. Miscommunication maybe on what I think they wanted, a lob alley-oop here on kind of the back door, and making up some ground late was TJ Grant.
Should Chicago State feel optimistic? 10 turnovers in the first 15 minutes, and they're only down 2 possessions.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this game's been played in a pretty tight window. Mercer, you feel like, is the team. They've been getting some open looks. They get some more threes to go, and they can open this lead up.
Ngumenzi at the right block. Finds Cobb. And it's Cobb with it again. 5:30 to go. Mercer by 6. It's Ngumenzi running out of time. 5 on the shot clock. This is a drive for Bernard. Into the corner. Grant a 3 off the front end. Rebound Jernigan. Cougars with it, approaching 5 to go. Top of the key, it's A.J. Neal, transfer out of California's Long Beach State. Cardette with it, calls for the screen. Bodied up by Jernigan, and he throws it right to Ngumenzi. And then a foul, easy call against A.J. Neal, just a little body check against Bernard.
Ngumenzi kind of got stuck and caught there and almost coughed it up himself, and was probably fortunate with that back pass there to draw some contact, and that is foul number 7, so 1-on-1 opportunity here for the Bears.
And Bernard will take it. Look at the Chicago State sideline. New assistant coach Scott Spinelli, touted as one of the top assistants and top recruiters in the country. A little more beef to Gerald Gillian's staff. Bernard hitting the front end. There's a look at Spinelli. More than 20 years at the D1 level. Actually, at time is the interim head coach at Boston College. He joins a staff that also features Barrington Terry and Jelani Hewitt. And the Spinelli hire, something that could help bolster this Chicago State program long term, as a foul against Mercer is going to send us on this end.
Another vocal coach on this staff. He wants to stand up, get right on the court with the best of them. We got free throws coming for both these sides the rest of the way, with still just about 5 minutes to go.
And bonus for both teams. Foul was just whistled against TJ Grant on the board. And Cardette to the line. He misses. Only a 2-for-3 night from the line. He has 5 points and 4 boards.
And they struggled from the line against Bowling Green too, 9 of 15. I mean, they really struggled from the field, where they finished the game shooting 25%, 25% from 3. They only shot 18% in that whole second half. Final 20 minutes on the road.
Near steal for Jernigan. He had it for a moment, and then a little hot potato bobble. Clock's at 4:36. Another look at Jernigan. Had it for a second. So Mercer ball. Inbound for Carmody, finding the freshman Bernard. 4:30 left. First half here. And Bernard to travel. That's 4 travels between these two teams.
Yeah, he just got caught in between there in the air and came down before he delivered that pass. Drew some defenders in. He turns around. They're going to have an open look top of the key there.
Mercer looking to bounce back. A disappointing loss to Division II Clark Atlanta University. Bears shot only 2 of 13 from downtown in the second half, sort of falling apart down the stretch in the loss. Chicago State, a big loss at Bowling Green. So both teams, it's sort of a get right Thursday type of night. as Green drives, a nice spin, can't shake off Davis. And with 10 on the shot clock, Green has it again. Green, a little hesitation, dribble. Whirls it outside to Gene Charles, 5 to shoot. Gene Charles, a teardrop off the front end, rebound to Mercer's Carmody.
Love the defense. It all started with the effort from Jake Davis working against Kendrick Green. Green's got more athleticism, less size, but more speed. But Davis, such a great job moving his feet, staying right with him.
We come to a timeout in Chicago. 3:50 left first half. Mercer by 7. Good to have you with us on a Thursday night in the Windy City.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
At the Chicago State
Back in Chicago, home opener for Chicago State men's basketball. Delight to have you with us alongside Max Toma and our championship crew. I am Sam Brief. So wire to wire, Mercer has led this thing so far. Max, the key early was Jalen McCreary. He has 9 points to lead all scorers. Who else has impressed you in black and orange?
Well, you know, it all started with McCreary. He's been pretty quiet since those early few minutes, I should say. But since then, it's been pretty democratic with the scoring. I think I go back to that couple of possessions in a row from Robbie Carmody where he had the reversal on the layup and then stroked a nice triple. But their bench has been very active. This is going to be a deep team in November. It's probably a rotation that I'm sure come, conference season is going to shorten up a little bit. But they got to be pleased with the kind of luxury they have coming off. They're playing 7 guys off the bench in each of the first 2 games.
Yeah, already 12 players in the rotation tonight for Greg Gary's team. Gary, the 5th-year head coach for Mercer, leading his squad against Gerald Gillian. It's a matchup of 2 GGs, Greg Gary and Gerald Gillian. A little tongue twister as Cardette misses a mid-ranger. Rebound to Incumenzi, who palms it to show us just how big his hands are. Here's Bernard, 3:30 on the clock, Mercer by 7. Bernard with some nice vision, knifes inside, and a beautiful teardrop for the freshman.
Did not see that one coming. 5'10" freshman from Detroit. He's got that Detroit toughness, right? Driving through the trees right there, hanging in the air for the reversal. Guy known more for his ability from beyond the arc, but can put it on the floor too.
A little Motor City finesse drive for Bernard. 3 minutes left. 12 on the shot clock for Cardette. He nails the mid-ranger. 7 points for Wes.
And the number ones going right back at each other, Bernard and Cardette.
And Bernard shimmies up the court for Mercer. Under 3 minutes left in the first half. And Bernard gets it poked away by Jernigan. Numbers for Chicago State, 3-on-2. A little hesitation, Corbett took a foul. The next step is the free throw line.
Great body control by Corbett that time down the floor. And if you're Mercer, the half-court defense, they have been very stout all first half long. Their problems have become, once they've turned the ball over in transition, getting back, because that's when Chicago State's still been at their best all day long.
Jashawn Corbett on the night. 1 point, 0 for 3 from the field, but 1 of 2 from the stripe. And on the front end, he sticks it. Well, Jashawn had a nice offseason, actually representing his native Virgin Islands in the 2022 FIBA AmeriCup. Jashawn said, playing with some older players, some real grown men, kind of made him grow up quick on a basketball court. It should help him quite a bit this season as he goes perfect from the line. As born in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, somewhere I'd like to get sometime during these winter months. This is Ngumenzi, an audacious 3-ball, but well short on the front end. Fight for the rebound, let him play for a little bit, and then a whistle comes in. Foul call, no, jump ball call. We'll send it down to the Cougars. 2:18 on the clock.
Scrappy effort again from Bernard, who's the one hitting the floor. And also Greg Gary leaving out Jake Davis, who did just pick up his second foul the last trip down the field, or down the court, I should say, defensively. And he's the one right there on top of Cardette, too.
Davis gets down and dirty. He did foul out the season opener against Clark Atlanta. Didn't start the game, but ended up playing most of it, scoring 8 points, grabbing 4 boards, but then the 5 fouls. Approaching 2 minutes to go, first half. Here's Corbett off a screen from Jernigan. Around the perimeter go the Cougars. Cardette, the leader, with a driving kick. Corbett, a 10-footer. He sticks it. Cougars within a possession. And a timeout on the floor.
I think they're going to get a foul on Cameron Jernigan. I think it was maybe after this ball goes in. Little shove in the back.
Yeah. 6-0 run for Chicago State, by the way, in the last minute. And yeah, foul against Jernigan. That's his first. Watch bottom of your screen, Jernigan, just a little shove. Well, hey, a reminder, I'm here. I'm right behind you. And it sends Robbie Carmody to the line.
Good chance to end this 6-0 spurt after a beautiful drive and jumper.
Carmody the miss. Chicago State could tie it with the 3-pointer. 1:55 to halftime. Here's Cardette working on Carmody. In the corner, it's Corbett. He misses. Gets his own board. Shot clock's at 15 for Brent Davis. Davis with a quiet 7 points. Shimmies in on Ngumenzi. It's a mismatch. Ngumenzi is whistled for a foul. Davis to the line.
Chicago State starting to drive with a little bit more toughness, getting to the line here, and you can see, yeah, that right arm is straight up, but that left arm is almost completely horizontal to the floor, and that's an easy call for any official.
Clock's at 1:33. Brent Davis, all Broward County first-team player out of Miramar High School, misses the front end. Good look at Greg Gary, coming over from Matt Painter's staff at Purdue, 3 seasons as an assistant there before landing the job at Mercer. Davis splits him to make it a 2-point game. So the freshman from Detroit, Bernard, takes it up for Mercer. 90 seconds to halftime. And a game that Mercer has led wire to wire so far. Zanoni to Ngumenzi to Davis. A lot of newcomers on this squad for Mercer, 8 of them. This is Carmody with a 20-foot 2, and he sticks it. Mercer's at 31.
A great shot there for Carmody. He's up to 7 points now, and that ends that 7-0 run over the last 90 seconds for Chicago State. It's been wire to wire, like you said, for Mercer, but you know, it doesn't really feel like that because it's been a small margin just about the entire first half.
Cardette 1-on-2 finds the open man. Davis a 3 that misses short, and the rebound cleaned up by the freshman Davis. Here comes Mercer with a head of steam. Carmody bowls in, and a foul's called against Chicago State. Looks like Cardette knows he's the guilty party. That's his first foul. This was early in the first half. Cardette with a block on Jalen McCreary, and it led to the transition slam for Jernigan. But now eyes on Carmody at the stripe. A solid 11 minutes for the Notre Dame transfer.
Yeah, he's been very solid, and he's been asserting himself a little bit more on the offensive side. Had 8 points in 14 minutes in their opener. He was 2 of 2 from deep. So he's 3 of 4 from beyond the arc here in the opening week of the season. Providing a nice spark. Obviously good veteran leadership as well.
Carmody, an inspiring story of resilience. Someone who has battled some pretty wicked injuries in his college career. A shoulder injury that ended his freshman season in 2018 in South Bend, and then a torn ACL the next year, a broken kneecap the year after that. Robbie Carmody has really fought through some things in just college that most people don't battle in a lifetime, and here he is still playing D1 ball.
And it's crazy because each of those injuries shelled him for a long stretch, and each of them sounds worse than the next, right? You get the shoulder injury. Obviously, nobody wants to tear an ACL. You know you're going to miss the entirety of the upcoming season or the season that you're in. But then the broken kneecap, I mean, that just sounds debilitating. And to come back through that, to extend the career, obviously, you know, he was a part of Mike Bray's last campaign at the helm of the Fighting Irish, and now he's here with Mercer, calling Macon, Georgia home. And I'm sure he's going to play a very important role. Probably don't know exactly what that role is going to entitle fully at this point of the year. You know, he's a starter who didn't play many minutes in the first game. He's played more. He's looked better here. He's almost matched his minute total already. He's played 12 today. He played 14 on Monday. But he's going to be an important figure during games, and maybe even more so during practice. They're going to learn a lot from this kid this season.
Fifth year in a college basketball program for Carmody, coming from an ACC program in Notre Dame. And tonight coming near his former home, just a little bit west here in Chicago, where the Cougars open their home slate. Back at it at home on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock tip against Cal State Northridge for Chicago State. But first, we've got 35 seconds to halftime tonight. And Wes Cardette brings it up the court, defended by Carmody. 20 on the shot clock for the Cougars. It's Corbett, defended by the tenacious TJ Grant. And he draws some contact. Count it with the foul. Just Sean Corbett flexing on him.
He's starting to really look strong on this offensive side. He's been getting the ball on this left wing. Settled for a jumper, nailed it last time. This time drives strong in on a good defender with TJ Grant. Soft touch for the finish. He'll go to the line. And you think with, you know, one possession left in this half, you're looking at a Mercer side that's shooting 50%. They've led the entirety of these opening 20 minutes, and it certainly looks like, barring a little miracle at the end, they will not trail in this first half. But Chicago State, they were shooting 39% before that make, and they're right here.
Corbett with a nice last 2 minutes. 2 minutes ago, he had 1 point, and now he has 8. Corbett tied with Brent Davis for the team lead, and 21 seconds to halftime. It's Mercer ball, presumably holding for the last shot here, as Chicago State comes out with the full court pressure. Shot clock's off, game clock at 15, and a timeout for Mercer. Coach Gary wants to draw something up. What do you reckon he'll go with 15 to go?
Yeah, burn the use it or lose it timeout, and I think now what you have are options, and I think you love having options. Do you have the confidence to put the ball in the hands of a freshman making his first start in Bernard, who's looked good driving and dishing? Do you let McCreary go downhill? I think if you're drawing things up right now, the man you want shooting at the end of this, I believe, is Robbie Carmody, the way we've seen him play the last handful of minutes. He's been the one doing most of the scoring down the stretch here in the first half, but I think if you're Greg Gary, you're pretty pleased when you got a team shooting 50% from the field, when you have 12 people who have touched the floor and everybody's looked pretty solid offensively. You got options.
And for Mercer, you just got a good look at a pretty sizable contingent that has come up to Chicago for this midweek showcase. Mercer's down in Macon, Georgia. They fly out of Atlanta. So sort of surprising, but nice to see some black and orange in the JCC crowd tonight. And there's some of the Cougar home faithful for Chicago State's home opener. So 15.5 on the clock. Halftime beckons, but one more possession will squeeze out for Mercer. This is Carmody with 8. Carmody the drive. He is plastered by Gene Charles. 3 on the clock. Noble Crawford has it, and it's poked away by Bernard. Clock stops at .6. Watch this.
Well, it's the man you wanted taking the shot coming out of the timeout in Robbie Carmody, but for a veteran in year 5, he gets going a little bit too early. Gave Chicago State a chance at transition, and even after the ball was deflected out here, an opportunity to get one up quickly with .6 left.
So Gene Charles will inbound. .6 on the clock, and the Cougars down 3. That's just enough time to catch and shoot quick. Grant checks in, one of Mercer's top defenders, replaces Bernard. So an all-defense lineup for Mercer here. Look at the clock. Jean Charles, the inbound, looking for Cardette, can't find him, and we go to halftime. Mercer 33, Chicago State 30. 8 points apiece for Corbett and for Davis. On the other side, it's all about Robbie Carmody with 9, Jalen McCreary with 9. And the Bears over the Cougars by 3 at halftime. We'll have some halftime conversation and the second half on the other side. From the Jones Convocation Center, it's Chicago State basketball.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare. With 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty, no bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of Pharmacy.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare. With 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty, no bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of Pharmacy.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. At Chicago State University, you'll find 5 academic colleges, 56 degree programs in all. Our School of Pharmacy is #1 in the Midwest for educating minority student scholars. We're ranked 1st in Illinois and 2nd nationwide among public universities for educating and supporting African American student scholars. We've achieved 100% job placement in nursing, pharmacy, and occupational therapy. We're number 2 in the nation for graduating black physics majors. For economic mobility, CSU is in the top 4% nationwide among all colleges and universities. And you get the attention you deserve because on average, there are only 10 students for every faculty member.
We have some of the best professors, some of the best mentors.
You have people that uplift you, that will open doors for you, that will help you.
It's an opportunity where you're able to make a change.
Chicago State University. Put your career in motion, your connection to friends and professors in motion. Put your future in motion. Chicago State University.
Pon en marcha tu futuro en la Universidad Estatal de Chicago con más de 70 programas de grado y certificaciones, numerosas oportunidades de becas y una vida universitaria vibrante. La Universidad Estatal de Chicago es la universidad pública más asequible de la ciudad con un cuerpo docente diverso y grupos pequeños de alumnos. En la Universidad Estatal de Chicago te brindamos las herramientas que necesitas para triunfar. Visita csu.edu/admissions para saber cómo puedes conseguir gratis la matrícula de tu primer año.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare with 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty. No bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of Pharmacy.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. At Chicago State University, you'll find 5 academic colleges, 56 degree programs in all. Our School of Pharmacy is #1 in the Midwest for educating minority student scholars. We're ranked first in Illinois and second nationwide among public universities for educating and supporting African American student scholars. We've achieved 100% job placement in nursing, pharmacy, and occupational therapy. We're #2 in the nation for graduating black physics majors. For economic mobility, CSU is in the top 4% nationwide among all colleges and universities. And you get the attention you deserve because on average, there are only 10 students for every faculty member.
We have some of the best professors, some of the best mentors.
You have people that uplift you, that will open doors for you, that will help you.
It's an opportunity where you're able to make a change.
Chicago State University. Put your career in motion, your connection to friends and professors in motion. Put your future in motion. Chicago State University.
Pon en marcha tu futuro en la Universidad Estatal de Chicago con más de 70 programas de grado y certificaciones, numerosas oportunidades de becas y una vida universitaria vibrante. La Universidad Estatal de Chicago es la universidad pública más asequible de la ciudad con un cuerpo docente diverso y grupos pequeños de alumnos. En la Universidad Estatal de Chicago te brindamos las herramientas que necesitas para triunfar. Visita csu.edu/admissions para saber cómo puedes conseguir.
Back in Chicago, it is halftime, and Mercer leads it by 3. It's good to have you back alongside Max Toma and our championship crew. Sam Brief with you from the Jones Convocation Center. So, Max, Mercer wire-to-wire leading this game, but it's gotten dicey at times thanks to mostly two guys for Chicago State, Wes Cardette and Jashawn Corbett.
Yeah, Corbett, especially those last handful of minutes, last 4 or 5 or so of that first half, he was really doing a good job of keeping the Cougars right there and within striking distance. And I think both of these teams, given the loss and given the way they shot on Monday, going to be pretty pleased with offense. Mercer shooting 48%, Chicago State shooting over 40 as well. Obviously, it was the McCreary show early. He got Mercer off to that great start. They've kind of kept their foot on and off the gas since, but like you said, wire to wire ahead.
And Wes Cardette for Chicago State splashing in his first 3 of the home season. David Thomas leading the charge for a freshman contingent that also features Jake Davis and Anthony Bernard for Mercer. Well, meanwhile, for Mercer, they were led early by Jalen McCreary and late in that first half by the Notre Dame transfer Robbie Carmody. Tell me what you saw from Carmody that might have surprised you in that first half.
Well, I think we know him as a guy who can light it up from distance as well. Not a guy who probably is more driving to pass, than to shoot. But we saw him drive. We saw him finish with the reversal. We saw him dish in late. He tried to get all the way to the rim right before the halftime whistle blew and got blocked. But a guy who really provided a nice spark. Got to the free throw line at the end of the half a few times too.
Real quick before we send you to break, what would a win tonight mean for Chicago State?
You said multiple times they were undefeated at home last year, so they're trying to continue that great stretch and start a new one here with an undefeated home season maybe this season. But a first win for either of these teams, it's always big to get that first one off the shoulders.
Well, it's a 3-point game at halftime. We got a good one in Chicago. Don't go anywhere. Second half from the Jones Convocation Center. When we come back, happy Thursday night from the Windy City.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
Cougars and Bears in the Windy City. This is one of 2 matchups of Bears versus Wildcat. You got the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers about 5 miles north of here. But right now, all eyes on Chicago State and Mercer. And it's good to have you with us, opening year 3 of home basketball for Gerald Gillian's team, who were led in the first half by Brent Davis with 8 points, Jashawn Corbett with 8, and Wes Cardette Jr. with 7. Okay, while we watch Coach with his clipboard, Coach Toma, you with your virtual clipboard here. Give me an adjustment you want to see from Chicago State.
Well, I think Chicago State's been doing a very solid job. I like the ability they've had to drive and dish offensively, but you just kind of feel like the way Jashot Corbett finished that first half compared to, he wasn't really looking for a shot. I don't think they were really looking for him in that opening 10, maybe even 15 minutes of the first half. I'm looking for him and Carnett, your two, leading returning scorers, to really shoulder the load here down the stretch as you try to cut into what is only a 3-point deficit and take your first lead of the day.
Cougars featured a slew of turnovers early on, 11 of them in the first half as a whole. It was a rough start, but a hot finish for Chicago State. The first half at one point featuring an 8-0 run. Well, Mercer's looking to climb out of a hole they dug on Tuesday, losing to Division II Clark Atlanta University 71-64. And their biggest bugaboo was second half shooting. Just 2 of 13 from long distance in the second half, so looking to do a little bit better. You got the cheesy Doritos rocking and rolling.
Matches the hat, and it does match kind of the colors of Mercer too, right?
And here's those Mercer colors, some of the Bears road contingent. We mentioned a surprising amount of Atlanta to Chicago fans. Coach Gillian, Florida native, leading Chicago State for his third season, and his team will start on defense for half 2. Hope you at home are having a great Thursday night. Wherever you're joining from, whether it's Chicago, Atlanta, or anywhere in between. Max Toma, Sam Brief, and our championship crew delighted to have you with us. Joaquin Quinones, barely saw him in the first half. Nice kick, but a miss for Bernard on the 3. Offensive board, Carmody. He goes up, gets stuffed. Gene Charles on the block, and Carmody will pass it in.
I thought Quinones might have gotten away with a walk before that initial pass, and that's probably a lot of ball, but a little bit of arm as well from Gene Charles, and foul on the floor, I guess was the call. But Carmody has really been driving the ball with confidence. He's been fearless.
Gene Charles, 2 early blocks. He takes a seat. Got to fix the shoe.
Yeah, is it a toe issue? Popped that thing right off and started grabbing that big toe on the left foot.
Some logistical issues with the toe. We've all been there. So he'll get that sorted as Carmody spots for 3. Misses short. And already 0 for 2 in the second half shooting for Mercer. This is Corbett on the drive. Gets a foul. And it was a pretty foul-happy first half. Teams combining for 22, and this is the first one of the second.
I love that play right down the floor with Green just turning around to the trailer as he gives it to Corbett, who's just got a full head of steam going.
So Jashon to the stripe. Tonight he is 4 for 5 on a busy night from the free throw line. Native of St. Thomas Virgin Islands, who was raised in Orlando, now has Chicago State within 2.
They got some smart food, white cheddar popcorn up there too.
You gotta hit the concessions before you go home.
Yeah. Although you and I do, I think, too much baseball to have an off-season hot dog during basketball season.
This is the anti-hot dog season. And then we reset once spring rolls around. More of a hamburger kind of winter. Top of the key, it's Holt. On to Carmody. Finds Quinones. Only a couple minutes in the first half. Pretty surprising for someone who was all freshman team last year. On the drive, McCreary. Teardrop strong. Jernigan the board. And now Chicago State with a head of steam. Corbett to the hoop, and we're tied.
We were tied for the first 38 seconds of the first half. We weren't tied again until just now. Cougars haven't led, but a strong end of the first half and a nice start here to half 2.
And Corbett, 9 points leading all scorers. Here's Quinones. McCreary, the kick to Carmody. 10 to shoot for Mercer. Little teardrop pass to Quinones. Nice look back to Bernard. Off the fake, 3 to shoot. Quinones gets rid of it, and he misses long. Mercer is 0 for 3 from 3 in half 2. Nice offensive board. Carmody got it to Bernard. Now Quinones thought about it. Carmody did too. He'll just drive it, take the contact, and go to the line. The foul's on Corbett.
There was a lot of good rotations happening there for Chicago State. They were a little late, but quick coming back out to contest some shots. and I should say avoid some shots being thrown up that looked like they were going to initially be open looks, but Carmody continuing with that fearlessness, and he picks up the foul and a chance for Mercer to hop right back ahead.
Carmody, 9 points in the first half. 2 for 3 from the line. And no good on the front end. A.J. Neal enters the game. Chicago State sub, replacing Ked Green. Good look at Neal. Transfer from Long Beach State. Big Milwaukee Bucks fan who's got to be delighted with the Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard team up as Carmody goes 0 for 2.
Yeah, can't be too pleased.
And then Cardette throws away right to McCreary.
Can't be too pleased with how poorly the Deer have been playing to start the year. But yeah, oh boy, they got oodles of potential.
Don't waste it. Carmody draws a foul on Cardette. 2 fouls on Wes. 33 all, 17:53 left in half 2. And a pretty foul-happy, missed shot-happy start to the second half. Gene Charles got his toe issue figured out. He's back replacing Cardette, so some more beef and height for Chicago State.
And Cardette, I mean, what makes him partially, you know, an NBA prospect, a projected second rounder? You talk about a guy who's 6'6", who can do just about everything out there on the floor, but 7'2" wingspan. He is such a tough defender on the ball.
Carmody, the wraparound shots off, but Quinones on mop-up duty, and Mercer's back up 2. First bucket of the day for Ja Quinones. Point guard who slimmed up in the offseason. His coach jokingly refers to him as a point guard slash nose guard. Sort of a beefier player who's on the ball right now.
Not a combination I've heard before.
And nose guard in basketball. Quinones put a hand in the face of Neal to force a miss, and a rebound for Ngumenzi. Love when coaches make references to other sports in explaining their point. You can tell that Coach Gary's a big football fan. Left it for McCreary. He's one-on-one with Corbett. Bullies his way in, drew a hip check. That's the second foul on Corbett.
Yeah, had none at halftime, but has picked up a couple in the last couple of minutes only. And he might go have a little spell on the bench.
16:48 left second half.
Not a guy who sits much. He only sat for 4 minutes in the opener.
And 20 minutes tonight. That's a game high for Corbett. And the fifth-year head coach Greg Gary, 51 wins in his first 3 seasons, the most in the first 3 seasons of any Mercer coach ever. McCreary hits the first. He's in double figures with 10. Mercer disappointing end to last season, falling in the SoCon tournament second round to 1-seeded Furman. Coach Gary said, you know, we didn't end how we wanted. Offense never really got clicking, so really retooled for this year to the tune of 3 freshmen, 5 transfers. A new look for Mercer, now looking for its first win of the season. And McCreary splitting them. We stay at 36-33, 16:45 on the clock.
And that's part of the great thing about college hoops, right? 1, there's so much parity, and 2, with the transfer portal, you get so many guys now, especially for Power 5 schools, not out there playing and competing to their liking, so they go to some smaller schools, and all of a sudden you have guys who have played in the SEC, have played in the ACC, and are now, you know, calling the SoCon home and whatnot.
Thomas, a freshman, the 3 ball's good, and DT puts him up 6.
Feels like every time Chicago State has crept closer, and this time they creep all the way to a tie and a 6-0 run and a scoring drought that's now hovering towards 3 minutes for the home team.
No leads today for Chicago State, just that brief tie, and Cardette misses the 3, rebound to Hunter. Drops it off for Quinones, wide open lane. He cruises in for 2, and a Mercer run of 8-0. Timeout Chicago State. 15:48 on the clock. Quinones, really no one contesting that, and Mercer dominating to start half 2.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare with 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty. No bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of
15:48 left, second half. It's an 8-0 run for Mercer right now. How does Chicago State right the ship and avoid this one getting out of control, Max?
Yeah, this is kind of the first major momentum flip we've seen in this contest. This is the biggest run that's going to have to be absorbed by either side. 8-0 run, like you mentioned. And this is only one shy of their biggest lead. It was 29-29 points was the biggest edge so far for the Bears, who have not trailed. And for Chicago State, you feel like you need something to go your way here after this timeout in the next few minutes. And Wesley Carnett Jr., I feel like, hasn't really been asserting himself too much on the offensive side here in the first 4 minutes of this half.
He had 7 points in the first, none in the second half so far. And looking for Cardet right away. Here he is. Wes has it at the baseline to Corbett. Behind the back, poked away McCreary on the steal. And now Hunter got sandwiched by Jean Charles and Green. Another Chicago State foul. And looks like we've got another media timeout in the offing. 15:24 on the clock. Mercer still in the midst of an 8-0 run, and we're back after this.
Pharmacy.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
It's the second all-time meeting between Mercer and Chicago State. Last time, it was at a neutral site, Sears Center, in Hoffman Estates. 88-77 win for Mercer. So Chicago State looking to get the Mercer monkey off their backs as assistant coach Barrington Terry briefs up the squad coming out of a timeout. In the midst of an 8-0 Mercer run, where have the Bears shined that has led to a Cougar struggle, Max?
Well, I think it's really been defense turning into offense, right? I mean, that was Johnny on this spot for Jalen McCreary, forced in that last turnover. 8-0 spurt in what has been a very short time and what has been a very stop and start, it feels like, second half, with a couple of timeouts called here in the last 24 seconds. But this is a point in this contest where it feels like it could go either way, right? It's kind of hanging on the edge. Chicago State have a run back in them to make this a game, or is Mercer going to continue? They're going to build it. We haven't seen a double-digit lead so far today.
A little more stop than start in the second half, right? I feel like I'm stuck in traffic right now, but McCreary breaks through. He has a game-high 12. Kiss off the glass.
That looked like the McCreary we saw in the opening few minutes when he was, I believe it was, he had 8 and Chicago State had 1 in those opening few moments.
Yeah, he's got such a soft touch. Surprising for a big man like him. 6'8", 230. Foul was just called against Mercer. Hunter the guilty party. But you allude to that soft touch from McCreary. We've seen a lot of it so far today.
Yeah, I think it surprised us early, and now I think we're kind of just going with the ebb and flow, right? He gets a contested shot up near the rim, and it's not clean off the window, kind of rattles around the rim. You're expecting it to find the bottom of the nylon, and, well, there's another turnover.
Green handed it to Jernigan, but Jernigan's right foot was on the line. Chicago State turnovers piling up now at 14 and down 10.
And this is a scoring drought now that is going to surpass 4 minutes.
Thomas for Mercer. Near steal, near over the back, and now it's Cardette. Two-handed flush, and Chicago State scores first time in 4 minutes.
Yeah, got stuck after great defense. There's the length from Cardette. And then a pass right across, just errantly thrown right along that half-court stripe and just right into transition.
Cougars also extinguishing a 10-0 Mercer run. It's Thomas stopping, giving it to Quinones, and around the perimeter to Hunter. 5 to shoot. Hunter, a step back three. Can't hit it. Rebound to McCreary. Right back in. Jalen McCreary, 14 points.
I'm not sure that's the shot they want from Caleb Hunter, but weak side right there to clean things up. Jalen McCreary.
It's a 12-2 run for Mercer. Gene Charles, hands to Green. Spinning himself out of trouble. Finds a wide open Davis. Gotta hit that one. Hunter on the board.
That was a beautiful find. Drive down the baseline, kick to the opposite wing.
Thomas, no response. Over the back call, easy against Mercer's Quinones. We go back to the Cougars, clock at 13:26. And watch this one again. Gene Charles found the open man.
It's a great job by Gene Charles. Kind of almost, you could say, a de facto bounce pass to him that he gets rid of in a blink of an eye. Find the open man ahead.
3 subs for Chicago State just now. Arnaud, Corbett, and Crawford come in. So new look for Gerald Gillian's team, some fresh legs. Mercer has dominated the last 5 minutes. Cardette on the drive, finding Davis, wraparound shots off. Foul on Ngumenzi, sends the Floridian Davis to the stripe.
There you go. Get Cardette, drive into the hoop, looks across court. It's a great find, and then coming down with that arm, I think, right on top of the head was Ngumenzi.
Gerald Gillian says he wants Brent Davis to really take charge this year. Feels he can be a defensive captain of this team. It's a quiet 8 points for him. And 3 of 5 from the line, Brent Davis will try again. Davis, a sharpshooter, someone who really can shoulder a load and maybe take some of the load off of guys like Cardette and Corbett.
Carmody comes back in as well after a lengthy spell on the bench for a guy who's been one of the better offensive players for either team tonight.
In and out on the second rebound, Ngumenzi. He's got 6 boards to go with 2 points.
It's a good stretch, though, for Quinones, who was very quiet in that first half and has been almost anything but here after halftime.
This is Carmody, who just came back in, as Max told you. Dropping it off for McCreary. Great vision by Carmody, even better finish.
Just a beautiful 2-man game. We've seen him go over the top with that lob. Him and Bernard have really done a nice job beating McCreary over the top.
16 points for McCreary, averaged 15 last year to lead all Mercer Bears. Crawford got stripped, but a foul is whistled against Mercer. It goes against Michael Zanoni, number 2. Watch him here with that little swipe.
They're trying to split the double, and that's going to be called every time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 12:34 on the clock. And Mercer by 11 here in the second. Crawford sitting. Cardette on the drive, too strong. Rebound Ngumenzi, he's got 7. McCreary 1-on-2, thought better of it. Finds Zanoni, 3 balls off. And the rebound to Arnaud for Chicago State.
As Zanoni struggled with the shot early on this season. Didn't score last game. He's had a few looks today. That's one you gotta connect with for the and one. Had an easy bunny.
Corbett missed it, but the 6th Mercer foul will put Corbett at the line and get Chicago State closer to the bonus.
Ball goes against McCreary. That's also his 3rd. Quinones and McCreary both with 3. Only person really in any kind of foul trouble on the Chicago State side is Green, who has 3 fouls in 9 minutes. But one guy who's been out there a whole lot today.
And for Corbett, 11-7, make it 12-7. After last season, he averaged 14 points and 9 boards for CSU. Brent Davis back in the game along with Jernigan, and there's a look. Big Cam Jernigan, aggressive player. Ferocious, in the words of his coach.
Corbett doing a good job being aggressive on the offensive side. Attempted 2 free throws on Monday. That was free throw attempt already number 9 tonight.
So up 10 with the ball, here's Mercer. Caleb Hunter against feisty Brent Davis. Hunter in front of his bench, can't find room. Drive and kick. Carmody a long 2 after the fake. Thing of beauty. Robbie's at 11.
That looks like something he's done on the practice court and in the gym for a decade plus, right? Pump fake, step in front, short quarter, long 2, easy.
That's a veteran, the elder statesman of this Mercer team. Corbett working on a freshman Davis. 1-on-2, spins, makes, count it, and 1.
That was a much tougher and one finish than the last time down the floor. And this time he gets the finish, just spins around. He draws in 2, and they leave that whole side Aaron on the left block. Gets the bucket, another foul on Davis. He's now got 3.
We step aside, 10-point game in Chicago.
At the Chicago State University College of Pharmacy, discoveries happen daily and students become industry leaders. If you are looking for a rewarding profession combining patient care, scientific research, and opportunities to give back to your community, CSU is an exceptional place to prepare with 3,000 square feet of state-of-the-art lab and research facilities and renowned faculty. No bachelor's degree is required. Learn more about CSU's College of Pharmacy by visiting csu.edu/College of Pharmacy.
Set your future in motion at Chicago State University with over 70 degree and certificate programs, ample scholarship opportunities, and a vibrant campus life. Chicago State University is Chicago's #1 most affordable public university with a diverse faculty, small class sizes, and almost 50 student organizations, including NCAA Division I athletics. At Chicago State, we provide you with the tools you need to succeed. Visit csu.edu/admissions to learn how you can earn your first year of tuition free.
Back in Chicago, where Chicago State trails right now by 10. It's 49-39 right now. Mercer on top, 11:28 left in the second half. Well, Max, this is a Chicago State program that generated a lot of hype coming into this season with the signings of 5-star recruits Ryan and Matt Bewley, who right now are ineligible as ruled by the NCAA. They are appealing that in federal court, so we're waiting for that process to pan out. But certainly everyone here in Chicago is hopeful that we will see those 2 5-stars on a court near you this year.
Yeah, it's always tough when kids are being held out, and it has to go the legal route. Obviously, 2 5-star recruits, about as highly touted as you could get. Some of the best prospects out there. And you know, Matt, who has been described from Gerald Gillian, I love this quote when he went to Game of Thrones references, and he said when you see the huge dragons, he's one of those huge dragons, just breathing fire, not one of the little guys. One of the best guys, unmatched talent-wise, and then, you know, his brother Ryan is a guy who at 6'9" could go out there and defend every single position, 1 through 5, and just how rare that is, too.
Yeah, the first 2 5-star recruits in one fell swoop coming from South Florida to Chicago, Matt and Ryan Bewley. In due time, you'll see them in the NBA, but our hope is that first you'll see them here at the Jones Convocation Center. Yeah, it won't be tonight, but maybe soon.
If you could picture them out there on the floor with Wes Carnett Jr., I mean, those are three guys with incredible athleticism and length and the talent to back it up.
Jashawn Corbett misses, but Brent Davis, nice offensive board, gets it back to Cardette. Gene Charles triggers a three, he got it, and the Cougars within 7.
That was absolutely huge. We have a great vantage point. That free throw was almost an air ball. That was nowhere close. Got just enough rim. They tracked down second chance opportunity, and now a nice little run. Kind of the first of the second half for Chicago State, and now they've upped the pressure.
And tenacious defense leads to a travel. Big 30 seconds for the Cougars.
Stout defending here from Arno, and then he gets the double. That's the last spot on the floor you want to get trapped. Right on the line, right into the front court, and that's just the last place you want to be if you're Caleb Hunter.
Things getting messy for Mercer. Turnover number 10 for the Bears. Cougars a chance now, down 7 with the ball. 11 minutes left in the game. Cardette. Gene Charles, hands for Arnaud. Cardette a three. Can't drill it. And the rebound to Hunter.
That went in. The top would have popped off of the Jones Convocation Center. Keep in mind, Chicago State also in the bonus the last 11 minutes here.
Yeah, Mercer's at 17 fouls. Cougars only with 4. Davis, an NBA three. The freshman delivers.
He's only taken 2 shots. They both looked just like that. 2 triples, hits them both. He's got 6 points now. He's got 2 threes hit in both of his first 2 collegiate games.
Gene Charles, the response isn't there. The rebound is, and Corbett has 2.
Just juggling that one to himself, maybe a little fortuitous with the last hop. Right
16 points.
Right to him, right in front of the rim, excuse me.
Hunter. We're under 10 minutes to go. 9:55 and counting. Davis at that same spot. Passes this time. Holt was doubled. Around to Hunter. Tries a drive. There's only 6 on the shot clock. Make it 3. 2. He shoots it. And over Cardette can't hit. Rebound tips to Davis. Cougars with speed. And the pass is long, intended for Cardette. We are going back to Mercer.
Boy, a tremendous defensive possession. Hunter with a step back contested 3 with the longer Cardette right in front of him. And then you got to appreciate the idea and the aggressiveness, but it's an unnecessary pass from Brent Davis.
That's the second time we've seen an attempted pass like that. First half, it was Cardette looking for Davis. Now Davis returns the favor, but both led to turnovers. And here's the freshman, Anthony Bernard, back in. You liked what you saw from the Detroit kid in the first half.
Yeah, he has played 19 minutes so far today. It doesn't really feel like he's been out there in the second half much at all, though. Got his first start. He was active in the early going.
19 minutes tonight for Bernard. He has it. And a Cougars zone look now on defense. Gerald Gillian opting for a little 2-3 zone. Carmody. 10 to shoot, Davis to Carmody. The drive at the baseline. Around to Davis. Great ball movement here. And McCreary with 3 on the clock sticks a long 2. 18 points for McCreary.
That is a backbreaker. Another great defensive possession for, 99% of it.
Beating the zone with quick passing. Green for Chicago State. Gene Charles in the corner, thought about it, stepped out of bounds. Another turnover, make it 16. 8:46 left. Mercer by 10. The foot on the line.
Yeah, that right foot just kicks back before he tries to drive and beat Carmody baseline. But you just think back to when they got the stop. They had just scored after the N1. They have the ball and push it in transition, turn it over with a chance to maybe cut it back down to 2 possessions. Now it's a 10-point lead, and you don't have the ball for the Cougars.
This game was briefly tied, about 45 seconds. It was 33 all, but Chicago State has not led once. It's been Mercer or a tie the entire way. Poked away, Gene Charles, but out of bounds, and bowling into a chair goes Ked Green, Rodman style.
You gotta love the aggressiveness. It's right on the right side. Not sure if it's gonna catch it. Here we go. A look at Gray, just full extension dive. It took out a trio of chairs.
One man, 3 chairs. 8:33 on the clock. It's Mercer ball.
He's holding that left elbow a little bit too, trying to stretch it out at half court right now.
And Ken's going to check out. Davis comes in for him. It took a hard fall going into the chairs, a lot of metal parts flying, and we hope Green's okay. He's going to go to the locker room, get checked out by the athletic training staff. So sending our best to Green. Keep you posted if we see him back on the bench. Davis, a 3-ball from straight away, can't hit his third, and Davis hauls in the board.
Good looking shot though from a guy who's had it going so far.
Cardetta hesitation dribble. Neal drove in, and a push. Foul goes against David Thomas. Mercer's 8th foul, and Chicago State's in the bonus, so shots coming, the 1-and-1. It's good to have you with us on a Thursday night. Chicago State's home opener. A couple desperate 0-1 teams with really disappointing starts to the week and starts to the season. Looking for win number 1 tonight. Neal helping the Cougars cause his first points of the season.
And they could use some free throw makes because Chicago State's been getting there a lot with regularity. 14 of now 22 and make it 23 attempts today. They're shooting now about 65%. Mercer's only shooting 56% from the line. It hasn't been too clean, the freebies.
Mercer's got Davis, Thomas, McCreary, and Quinones all with 3 fouls. Under the 8-minute mark, a miss for Thomas. Rebound Cardette. Long pass, this time on the money. Gene Charles, and 1. The Cougars with serious momentum here in Chicago. And this touchdown a success. We go to a timeout. It's a 2-possession game at the JCC.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. Chicago State University.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Well, Chicago State's got some serious momentum cooking right now, as they are within 2 possessions of Mercer. Well, we saw 2 unsuccessful long passes, and then Cardette on the money. Deshaun Jean Charles on the finish, Max.
Yeah, they're hoping the math here is 1 + 2 = 3. It's Cardette to Jean Charles. He gets the and 1. Looking to try to complete the old-fashioned 3-point play, and I'll pull him within 5.
Where'd you learn math like that? You are a well-educated man, Max Toma. Well, riddle me this. Chicago State's down by 6. They haven't led yet in this game. What's something or someone you want to see more from down the stretch to claw back in?
Well, they've been big with these momentum plays. I have been a little worried, I think, when they've been trying to get out in transition with that huge home run outlet ball. But when they've been going inside, when Cardette Jr. has the basketball, you just feel like good things happen. When Jay Charles is at the rim, when Deshaun Corbett is at the rim, same thing. You're thinking good things are happening. And right now, they're only a stop or 2 away and going to get a bucket from making this right back into a game. And there's plenty of time left, just under 8 minutes. I'm not going to say if Chicago State came back and won this that this would be favorite, that they'd be stealing a game. But when you haven't led and it's this far into a contest, I mean, you almost feel like you're playing with house money because you've just been hanging around. Mercer hasn't been able to land that knockout blow. They've hit a lot of punches, but Chicago State, they're still hanging tough.
Hanging tough on a floor that they haven't lost on in 2 years. Gerald Gillian's team 8-0 at home last year. This is their first home game this season, so looking to preserve perfection. Gene Charles cannot polish off the and one. Rebound ping-pongs out of bounds. Chicago State ball.
So now can I say they're hoping 1 + 2 is actually going to equal maybe 4 or 5 if they get a bucket here?
Yeah, you'll take that.
It's live math.
Your math education is rearing its ugly head. Gene Charles will throw it in. He's had a nice night. 10 points in 25 minutes. 4 of 7 from the field. We have 7 minutes, 50 seconds left in the game. And 17 on the shot clock for Cardette. Bullies in, rejected by McCreary.
That's length on length right now, and McCreary, who's just a little bit taller, maybe not as long, though, getting the best of him with the outstretched block.
Jalen McCreary from South Carolina to South Florida to Mercer. Journeyman college basketball star. Gene Charles in and out. The board for Cardette, then he's rejected. Mercer with the ball up 6.
Went up quickly, but had a chance maybe there to just come back down with it and look back outside the perimeter for an open 3.
Hunter off a screen. Finds Davis. Caleb Hunter shimmying in. To the leading scorer. 5 to shoot. Nice drop pass for Carmody. Swings to the freshman Davis. 2 to shoot. Hunter ran out of time. That's a violation. That shot is no good. Cougar ball, 7 minutes left.
Oh, the passing was sublime, though. That was something to watch. Scintillating play on the offensive side. Good cut down the baseline from Carmody. You thought it was a good find from Jake Davis, but you're out of time. And that's a huge defensive stop.
I don't know about you. I've been dazzled at times by the Mercer ball movement today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they played a very clean game on the offensive side, shooting 45% too.
Cougars hunting their first lead, down 6. 10 to shoot. Corbett shoots for 3. Can't hit it in Davis's face. And a loose ball foul whistled against Gene Charles over the back. That's Deshaun's second.
5th team foul, so no bonus yet for Mercer. 6.5 to go.
Chicago State's already in the bonus with 9 Mercer fouls. Six minutes, 30 seconds left. Full court pressure for the Cougars. Mercer just gets it across. Hunter directing traffic, mano a mano with Davis. Blows by him with the crossover to the can. He's off. Corbett cleaned it. Gene Charles, coast to coast, puts it in.
Soft touch at the rim, getting out and running the floor end to end and back within 4.
Foul right after that. A.J. Neal's foul is the Cougars' 6th, and watch Deshaun just bullies his way to the can.
Hits that gas pedal, gets going downhill with speed and authority.
Sideline throw in for Mercer. One more Chicago State foul will send the Bears to the bonus, who have 6 minutes left with a 4-point lead. This is Carmody. Ingumenzi now at the free throw line. Swiped away. Corbett got it. And Gene Charles, little 4-on-4 for a moment. Cardette, quiet second half. Is now his time to strike. 18 to shoot. A 3 ball. It's strong. Rebound, fought for, won by Corbett. Chicago State a fresh 20 on the clock. And back in the playmaker's hands, Cardette. 7 to shoot. He shoots, and this time drills. It's a 1-point game.
They like that matchup with him and Igumezi. Squared him up the first time, tried to rainbow a three over the top of him, missed it. Huge rebound. There were actually two Cougars fighting on the offensive glass for it. Second chance opportunity, second bite at the cherry for Cardette Jr. Lets it fly, drills it. 1 point game. It's been a barn burner. Chicago State hasn't led, but they are right there, chomping at the bit.
9-0 run for CSU over the last 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Just a quick 30 on the timeout, so we'll keep it here. 5 minutes, 7 seconds left. Two hungry teams with disappointing Mondays, hoping for a bounce back Thursday. What's a key for Chicago State down the stretch that they haven't executed on so far?
Well, I love that they're crashing the glass now, and the question is who's going to hit that big shot that finally vaults them in front. And right now you're feeling like Cardette, he hasn't been cooking offensively. Just got into double figures by hitting that three. He's got 12 points now. And now I think more so the question is being asked on the other side for Mercer. They have not scored in 4 minutes. Who do you go to if you're the visiting Bears? Because you've led the entire game. It hasn't been tied since it was 33-33 in the initial moments of this second half. And they might be playing with a bit of nervous energy now on the road.
It's got to be McCreary, right? 18 points. He's the returning leading scorer.
I would imagine that's who they would go to off the timeout. Not a guy who has a lot of the ball, but they look for him inside.
Carmody has it. Smooth first half for the Notre Dame transfer. Now to Hunter. Just 8 to shoot. McCreary's got it. Handles it so smoothly. Soft touch, can't hit. Rebound Cardette. Cougars can take the lead with a bucket. Cardette at that free throw line gets it to Davis. 20 to shoot, 4:40 on the game clock.
Now they've switched it back where McCreary is on Cardette, and it's not Ingumezi out there.
10 to shoot. It's A.J. Neal. Works off a Corbett screen, gets it. Back to Corbett. 5 to shoot. He lost it. Turnover again, and a steal for Davis.
I think that's the first time this half they've had possession with a chance to go take the lead. They don't even get a shot up.
Now how does Mercer respond? Approaching 4 minutes left, they've got a 1 point lead. The Bears time. Carmody pulls it out, 8 to shoot. Now it's Hunter. One-on-one with Charles, blows by him. Now 2 to shoot, shimmies in and somehow rattles it home.
Oh, contorting the body, beautiful control, great use of the pivot foot. Not the guy you expect to be the go-to man at this point in the game. Did not score in the opener, played just 7 minutes off the bench, but timely bucket, and now looked like a steal for a second, but I think that hand hit the line, and it's out of bounds, stand right here.
An immediate timeout. Watch this circus act. Caleb Hunter puts Mercer up 3. We've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in Chicago. The Bears by a few.
Let's put your ambition in motion. Let's turn roadblocks into new paths to success. For over 150 years, Chicago State University has fostered ambition, started careers, and built successful lives of accomplishment for our students. Now, it's your turn. At Chicago State University, you'll find 5 academic colleges, 56 degree programs in all. Our School of Pharmacy is #1 in the Midwest for educating minority student scholars. We're ranked 1st in Illinois and 2nd nationwide among public universities for educating and supporting African American student scholars. We've achieved 100% job placement in nursing, pharmacy, and occupational therapy. We're #2 in the nation for graduating Black physics majors. For economic mobility, CSU is in the top 4% nationwide among all colleges and universities. And you get the attention you deserve because on average, there are only 10 students for every faculty member.
We have some of the
Cougars are down 3, hunting for their first win of the young season. Good to have you with us for the final stretch. Watch this circus act by Mercer's Caleb Hunter. How do you get this one in, Max?
Just gets stuck, gets trapped, Doesn't have the size. He's only 5'10", the junior from Detroit out there. But sometimes you can just will yourself to the bucket and will your team to some much-needed points after that big run from Chicago State.
And Chicago State has yet to lead in this game, but only down a possession, 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Their top scorer, Wes Cardette, gets stuck in the corner. He's fallen into some quicksand as the whistle blows, and a bailout call, foul away from the ball against a Bear. Looks like it's going against Robbie Carmody.
Yeah, Carmody reaches in with that right arm, and that's a good call. It looked live like there wasn't a lot of contact, but we're kind of blocked from that side. That's an easy call, and that's an unnecessary, unwarranted foul from a grad student transfer. Tough matchup, though, for him, obviously, too.
So now Cardette will attempt the Cougars' 25th free throw. Makes it a 2-point game, 3 minutes, 22 seconds left. And Cardette has 13 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. Now 3 of 4 from the line. Just a 1-point game.
Team was only shooting 5 of 10, 50% from the line in the second half before those two makes.
Hunter and Carmody against full court pressure. He's got just 2 seconds to get it across, and just in the nick of time for Mercer. This is McCreary. Off to Carmody. On the drive, the whistle blew, and a foul goes on CSU. It's against Kedrick Green, and Chicago State's 7th means bonus territory. 1-1 now for Mercer's Carmody.
Only 2 of 5 Carmody from the line today. A guy you expect to go up and hit these with relative ease most of the time.
3:06 left. Carmody's first is smooth as silk. Robbie has 12. Greg Gary looking for a gritty road win. Long way from Macon, Georgia, here in Chicago. They'll head home tomorrow morning and hope it's a victory Friday for the Bears. Carmody's second. Off the front end, Cougars only down 2 and only 3 minutes left. Cardette, Jean Charles, Corbett, Davis, and Green, the 5 gray-shirted Cougars on the court. It's Cardette with it, the primary ball handler. 3 ball, it's off. Rebound to Green, second life, 20 on the clock. Green to Davis. Kept it. 10 to shoot. 2:30 on the game clock. And down 2 points. Cardette, an audacious 3. No foul call, and a rebound cleared by Ngumenzi. Mercer ball. So now it's Hunter looking to extinguish a Cougars run. Mercer has led this thing wire to wire. It's getting spicy down the stretch. Davis, that's his spot. To Carmody with 10. Hunter with 7. Operates smoothly. Caleb Hunter picks up his dribble. 2 to shoot. Davis triggers a 3, and the freshman drills it. His 3rd.
You gotta love it. Chicago State on one end is really playing a lot of ISO ball with Wesley Cardette Jr. On the other side, Mercer's still running their normal offense. I mean, they're getting a ton of passes off just about every time down the court, and that is an NBA range 3 from a freshman just about at the horn of the shot clock in a 1-possession game. That's a man playing beyond his years of Jake Davis.
Got to give you some credit here, Max Toma. Asked you about 2 hours ago, who do you have your eyes on? You said, the man with the good hair, Jake Davis, on the right side of your screen. Davis, 3 threes today. He's been a big X factor.
He was 2 of 8 from distance in his collegiate debut back on Monday. He's taken 4 shots today. They've all been from beyond the arc, and he has hit a trio of them. And it feels like all 3 came at very opportune and needed times, and obviously none bigger here. We're some 2 minutes left. It was a 2-point game. Now you extend it to 5 points. It's 2 possessions, and this feels like often has been the case in the last 10 minutes. Chicago State has looked good defensively for 25, 26, even 27 seconds. And then Mercer, they get a shot up. You think about the circus shot that we started after the last break coming out from with Caleb Hunter. I mean, they've hit some crazy looks, but they've got them when they've needed them.
Got to give Mercer credit. They have delivered. Chicago State not quite finishing some of those possessions, and offensively, no shots made from the floor in the last 3 minutes. We have 1 minute, 53 seconds left. Mercer by 5, Cougar ball. It's been wonderful to have you with us for the first 38. Here we are for the final 2. Cardette blazing up the court, leaves it off for Green. Cougars need a bucket here. And it's Cardette, his defender falling. Cardette the drive. Good ball movement. Gene Charles a 3 ball, and the Cougars are within 2.
Put it on the highlight reel. Cardette Jr. gets Carmody on skates. Killer crossover turns into a wide open 3 from Gene Charles. He buries it, 1 possession game.
Minute 20 seconds to go. Mercer by 2 with the ball. Hunter to the hot shooter, Davis. Ingumenzi to McCreary. Can Chicago State finish a defensive possession? Well, there's a foul on Gene Charles, so the possession ends, and free throws are coming with 1:08 on the clock.
Live, I thought this was a moving screen, and I think on the replay, I still think that's an Ingumenzi moving screen. Hit the left side of his body, that left leg is out, it's moving, and that's an unfortunate break, I think, if you're the Cougars. That could have easily gone the other way. Instead, I guess they're going to call foul and say that Carmody was the man who got fouled.
And Carmody just 3 of 7 from the free throw line today. The Notre Dame transfer hits the first. Leads at 3. Clock reading 1:08 seconds. Robbie Carmody, 12 points. His most in his young Mercer career. Both teams in the bonus. And a big shot here to make it 2 possessions. Tough. 4-point lead, 1:08 to go. And now Cougars are desperate for a bucket. This is Cardette driving in, drew a foul. It'll go against Ingumenzi. And free throws for Cardette. That's a win.
Strong tank. This is who you want having the ball, and gets right by Carmody again. Carmody hits 2 calm free throws and a chance to bring it right back to 2 now for Chicago State. And that, I think, went on Carmody, and that's his 3rd.
Such a physical drive for Cardette, as every single one is. He has 14 points, 4 of 5 from the line. And the first one is true. 1 possession game again. 1:03 seconds to go. Both teams looking to avoid 0-2. That's a bad taste in your mouth. Early in a season, seasons always start with such promise. So we'll see if Chicago State can get a sweet taste. Big shot here is off. Rebound Davis, and Mercer has it up 3. 60 seconds to go. It's all about ball control now for Mercer. Hunter squeezes through, finds Carmody. And a foul against Davis will put Hunter at the line. So he has a chance now to make it a 5-point game, Max.
9th foul, so it's the last of the 1-and-1 here for the grad student, 5th-year player, who's looked much calmer in winning time here at the free throw line than he did the first time. I would say 38 minutes.
Clock's at 48.4. Important shot goes. Robbie Carmody, 15 points, now 6 of 10 from the line. But as you alluded to, much better down the stretch here in the second half. Carmody, second, drops in. And now a sub, someone we haven't seen in quite some time, defensive stalwart Ja Quinones comes in for Mercer. Number 0, Gerald Gillian looking to implore his team to victory. Down 5, 45 seconds left. Green leaning over his dribble. A bucket here is imperative. Cardette, drive and kick. Around the perimeter, 15 to shoot. This is Green all by himself. He's stuffed by McCreary. Got it back, 10 to shoot. Davis to Cardette, a three. It's off, rebound to Gene Charles, 20 on the clock. Gene Charles a three. Short, and a 5-point Mercer lead. Mercer ball and a foul, 13 seconds left. This one's starting to feel inevitable.
Massive stop because Kendrick Green does a nice job driving. He gets a shot at the rim. They miss. They get another look just from who you want it from. Wes Cardette Jr. at the top of the key with an open three. He can't hit. They get a third crack at it. Gene Charles on the left wing with the three. You get an offensive possession with 3 shots. Really 2 good looks from distance to try to make it a 2-point game. And now you are really with your backs up against the wall.
One of those vicious reminders that basketball is a game of making shots. Carmody makes this one. Chicago State had 3 pretty open looks on that possession. You go 0 for 3 and likely are staring down an 0-2 record.
Carmody hits this, made 9 free throws today. He's sitting on 17 points.
Now he's at 18, tied with McCreary for the team lead. And with 13 seconds left, it's a 7-point Mercer lead. Barring a miracle, looks like Greg Gary's team is on the verge of 1-1.
Yeah, it's, it's early on in the season. It's week 1, but you want to get the monkey off your back. You want to get that first dub as soon as you can. And, your Mercer, you come out maybe a little complacent on Monday, right? You're at home. You're playing a D2 side in Clark, Atlanta. You've fallen home in kind of a stunner. I'm sure that shocked the system. I'm very sure that Greg Gary was having a much different practice come Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday than what he wanted and what he expected. But this team has regrouped, and they are very much deserving coming in here and getting this win because they scored the first bucket. They've led the entirety of this game. They're going to take a lot from this. I think both teams will, but Mercer has really dealt with a lot of adversity because every time they've extended the lead, it's gotten out to 10, it's gotten out to 11. Chicago State's come storming back. They had the huge run, tied it up again, but Mercer looks like they're going to come out on top.
It's really hard to win a close game on the road without surrendering your lead. And Mercer's on the verge of doing that as Cardette just drew contact, and he is headed back to the line.
Sometimes it's nice when you've played so well on the road and your Greg Gary's squad to have some things at the end of the day to work on. That was absolutely the last thing he wanted after a timeout, up by 7 with less than 15 seconds. A foul immediately on the inbounds against the team's best player nonetheless.
10.8 on the game clock as Wes Cardette Jr. with 15 points. It's the front end. 6 of 8 from the line today. The Cougar 3-point shooting certainly held him back tonight. 5 for 23, and we saw them miss a couple down the stretch just a couple seconds ago. Well, it's a 5-point game. 8 seconds left. Carmody stuck in the corner. 1-on-2 as the clock's at 5. And timeout was called by Mercer. So timeout, clock's at 5.1.
Wouldn't expect the ball to be in anyone else's hands other than Robbie Carmody. He gets stuck, but he kind of knows at this point you can afford to be stuck as long as you hold on to the basketball, right? You're up by 5. There's 5 seconds left. Gets the timeout. Veteran savvy move, and now they can just about see this through.
Chicago State will be in action next Sunday, 3:30 at Southern Indiana, and then back at home 7 o'clock Tuesday night against Cal State Northridge. So if you're Coach Gillian, you go to practice tomorrow morning, what's the first thing you might address as a result of this game?
First thing you'd like to address, I think that's tough, but I think you go with more offensive consistency because they didn't shoot the ball well. Game 1, 25% on the road at Bowling Green. They haven't shot the ball too well today. I feel like the looks have been there, and I feel like when they look back at the tape, they're going to be pleased at least. The shots weren't falling, but I think the ebb and flow of the offense was pretty solid. You mentioned they got Southern Indiana coming up. that could be a team that's reeling, because I believe tonight, and I haven't checked the scoreboard, but I think Southern Indiana is getting a dose of Michigan State on the road after Sparty lost at home to James Madison. And that's probably not something you would wish on your worst enemy, because I'm sure Michigan State's coming out with some aggression, and it does look like they kind of beat them pretty handily tonight by 23.
74-51 out in East Lansing, so it'll be the Cougars and the Screaming Eagles. Not just any Eagle, but the Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana. 3:30 tip on Sunday. Here's a throw in for Carmody. 3 seconds to 1, and the Mercer Bears have their first win of the young season. Chicago State dropping one at home for the first time in 2 years, with a wire-to-wire win for the Bears. So Mercer led tonight by some of their veterans. Jalen McCreary, second-year player, 18.6 boards. Robbie Carmody, 18 points. Mercer led this one 38 seconds in, and they held that firm to the end, Max.
Yeah, and McCreary was the go-to guy early and often, but I think the biggest takeaway for Mercer down the stretch is who do you want to have the ball at the end of the game? And the answer is definitely the Notre Dame transfer, the grad student in Carmody, who is terrific at the line down the stretch and really imposing as well offensively.
The 0-2 Chicago State Cougars are back at it. Sunday, 3:30 at Southern Indiana. We'll have a broadcast for you Tuesday night, 7 o'clock against Cal State St. Northridge. Meanwhile, the Mercer Bears 1-1, and they're in action Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central at Moorhead State. Well, a women's and men's hoops doubleheader this afternoon and tonight at the Jones Convocation Center. The women falling to Loyola and the men falling to Mercer. It's been wonderful to have you with us. You know, we have a championship crew here, and alongside my good friend Max Toma, I'm Sam Brief. It's been a wonderful time with you tonight. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday and weekend. Again, back in action on Tuesday for another women-men doubleheader. Alongside director Chris Rouse and the rest of our championship crew, Sam Brief and Max Toma saying so long from the JCC.